An introduction to continuous random variables. In statistics, we have two types of variables. Qualitative variables and quantitative. Qualitative are descriptions, for example, colors. Quantitative are numbers. There are two types of quantitative variables, discrete and continuous. Discrete variables take fixed, defined values, for example, the number of students in a classroom, and continuous variables take an infinite number of values. And continuous variables are typically things that you measure, and discrete variables things that you typically count. For discrete random variables, probability is represented on something that looks like a bar graph, where the random variable takes these values that are defined here, and the probability that any one of these values occurs is the height of the bar. That's probability there. So for example, this one here, this bar represents the probability that our discrete random variable takes the value 3. For continuous random variables, it's the probability density function that goes on this axis, and it's the area shaded that represents probability. So the total probability underneath the curve here, the total probability, would be equal to 1. And this shaded region here represents the probability that x is greater than 3, that the continuous random variable x is greater than 3. For the discrete random variable, if you were to add up the heights of each individual bar, and if you add them all together, that would total 1. So for continuous variables, it's the area that's shaded that represents the probability, and for discrete variables, it's the height of the bar. The OCR formula book is divided into two sections. When we're looking at statistics, you've got a section on discrete variables and a section on continuous variables. For example, here we have discrete distributions, and we have this discrete random variable x. The binomial distribution is a good example, and so is the Poisson distribution. And here is the section on continuous distributions, and x here is a continuous random variable, and the normal probability distribution is a good example of something that's a continuous probability distribution. The topic on continuous random variables can be subdivided into the probability density function, calculating the median, the mean, and the variance of a continuous random variable.